All right, so get ready. We're about to take a deep dive into something every golfer obsesses over. Swing path.
It's something we all think about, right?
Absolutely. Today we're breaking down a webinar by instructors Terry and Mike.
Ah, I love those guys.
Yeah, they're great. And in this one, they're using 3D data from Sportsbox AI.
Oh, wow. Getting really high tech.
Right. And to analyze swings of some of the greats, Tiger Woods,
Of course.
Jon Rahm, Rory McIlroy.
It's amazing to see those swings broken down like that.
Seriously. And today, we're going to figure out what makes you swing the way you do. Like, ever wonder why some golfers just hit fades so naturally?
Or draws.
We're going to uncover those secrets.
You know, it's so cool to see how data is really changing the way we understand the golf swing.
It's like we're moving past feel and gut instinct
Yeah,
and getting into, like, the actual science of it.
exactly. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty.
And one of the biggest surprises for me from this webinar was aim.
Aim.
It plays a huge role in shaping your swing path.
Bigger than people realize, I bet.
Way bigger. I mean, more than you think.
You know what's cool? Terry and Mike actually did a study with pro golfers where they had them intentionally hit fades and draws.
Oh, wow.
To see what would happen. And get this, they found that the pros mainly changed their stance to hit those shots.
Seriously?
Yeah, it wasn't like big swing changes or anything. It was all in the setup.
So, okay, so wait. If I want to hit a fade, I should aim right.
Well, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Think about it. If you're aiming way right,
Okay.
your body's naturally going to try to correct that and swing more to the left.
Right, to get back on target.
Get back on target. Our body, they want to square the club face to the target.
It's like my body saying, nope, not going in the woods today.
Exactly. And that instinctive reaction, that's why aim is so powerful.
Makes sense. It's setting up your whole swing.
It really is.
Okay, so aim is, like the king,
Uh-huh.
I got it. But what about grip?
Oh, grip is a big one too.
Yeah, how does that play into swing path?
You know what's interesting about grip? It's not just hand position, it impacts your whole setup.
Really?
Think about your trail elbow.
Okay.
Is it like sticking out or is it more tucked in?
Huh. We've never thought about it.
That can shift your shoulders, even your side bend,
Oh.
and how much the shaft leans. It's crazy.
So my grip affects more than just my hands on the club.
Oh, for sure. Terry and Mike, they talk about how grip strength ties into this K versus T posture idea.
K versus T.
So imagine you're holding the club with a weaker grip.
Okay.
Your trail elbow, probably a bit outward, right?
I guess.
Shoulders more open, less side bend.
Yeah.
Kind of creates this K shape with your body.
So weaker grip, K posture. But what's that got to do with swing path?
Well, that K posture actually sets you up to swing more to the left,
Oh.
which favors a draw. Now picture a stronger grip.
Okay.
Your trail elbow is going to be more tucked in, shoulders closed, more side bend. Your chest might even point a bit more towards the ball. That's the T.
So T posture encourages a swing path that's more to the right. So a fade.
You got it. And this is where data like Sportsbox comes in.
Yeah.
You can actually see these tiny posture differences
Wow.
and how they linked to your swing tendencies.
That's a serious light bulb moment for me.
Haha.
Okay, so aim, grip, check, check. What else is going on with swing path mechanics?
One of the biggest players, and Terry and Mike hit on this a lot, is something called sway gap.
Sway gap.
It's basically the difference in sway between your pelvis and your chest.
Okay, I'm visualizing it, but why does that matter?
Think about how your chest and pelvis move during your swing. They're not always in sync.
Right, right.
And that difference, that sway gap, it really impacts where your club travels.
So it's not just where my chest and hips are at address.
Nope.
It's how they move throughout the swing.
You got it. And there are these like 4 key points where sway gap really matters. Address, top of your backswing, transition, and impact. Terry and Mike show how Tiger Woods, he keeps a pretty consistent sway gap through his transition.
I can picture it.
And then, boom, increases it at impact for power.
So sway gap actually changes throughout the swing.
It's dynamic. And this is where it gets really interesting. Terry and Mike, they're all about finding what they call dynamic matchups.
Dynamic.
Meaning movement patterns that work with your body, not against it.
So working with our natural tendencies instead of trying to fit some mold.
Exactly. And sway gap, that's a huge part of it. They talk about how increasing sway gap through impact.
Okay.
They call it dynamic sway. Is super powerful. Lots of pros like Tiger use it.
Dynamic sway. Got to add that to my practice list.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so aim, grip, sway gap. We're really building this picture now, huh?
We're getting there. But you know one thing that can really mess with your swing path?
What's that?
Stiffness.
Oh, man, stiffness.
We've all been there.
We've all been there. But why? How does it affect swing path?
Think about it. If you're tense, you can't move freely, you can't create speed or control the club face the way you need to.
So, like, if I'm all tight and trying to force the club into position,
Right.
I'm actually working against myself.
Totally. And the tricky thing is, stiffness, it can be physical and indeed mental.
Oh, that's true.
Sometimes with limitations, sometimes it's just trying too hard to control everything.
Overthinking it.
Yeah. Terry actually tells this great story about a golfer whose feet just naturally moved into the correct position
No way.
during a drill where he was just swinging freely.
Oh, wow.
It shows how loosening up can actually lead to better results.
So sometimes we get in our own way.
We totally do.
So if stiffness is the enemy, what's the cure?
Well, Terry and Mike, they love drills that encourage flow, natural movement.
Makes sense?
Like, they might have you hit a bunch of swings in a row without stopping, focusing on rhythm, help you loosen up, find that effortless feeling.
It's almost like letting go of the control.
Exactly, letting your body do what it wants to.
I like that. Okay, aim, grip, sway gap. You even touched on stiffness.
Yeah.
What else is shaping our swing paths?
There's one more biggie we got to talk about, and that's your trail arm.
Trail arm.
Yeah, your right arm. Specifically, how it works during your backswing.
Oh, interesting. How does that affect things?
Well, Terry and Mike compare golfers who tuck their trail elbow in.
Okay,
They call it an undergrip style, versus those who keep it more out cover grip.
I could picture those.
So the undergrip with the tucked elbow,
Yeah.
it tends to create a shallower swing and a path that's more to the right, favoring a fade.
Interesting.
It's because that tucked elbow makes the hands move deeper and the club face wants to close.
It sounds kind of like that T posture.
You got it. It all ties in. Now, the cover grip with the elbow out,
Oh.
that promotes a steeper swing path more to the left, so a draw.
So undergrip generally fades, cover grip draws. Seems pretty straightforward.
It's not always that cut and dry, but those are the general tendencies.
Oh, right.
And remember, it's not just the arm itself, it's how it influences your whole body.
It's all connected.
Those dynamic matchups again.
This is so cool. We're really peeling back the layers here.
It's amazing what you can see with this data.
What else can Sportsbox tell us about swing path?
Well, Terry highlights this really cool insight about your pelvis rotation. He says the point where your pelvis side bend reaches 0 relative to your pelvis rotation
Okay.
can actually indicate whether you naturally favor a fade or a draw.
Wait, what? So there's a point in my pelvis rotation that suggests if I'm a fader or a drawer.
That's what the data is showing. He uses pros like Justin Thomas, big drawer,
Right.
and Hideki Matsuyama, who's a fader,
I can see it.
to show how this works in their swings.
This is mind-blowing. Like, our bodies are giving us clues
They are.
if we know where to look.
That's the power of data, right? It's revealing stuff we can't see with our eyes.
Totally. I feel like I'm finally starting to understand how all these pieces fit together.
That's the key, right?
It is.
To unlocking your potential.
Yeah.
Terry and Mike, they really stress that there's no one-size-fits-all in golf instruction.
No cookie-cutter swings.
Nope. It's about understanding your own style and finding the matchups that make you the most powerful and consistent.
It's like finding the right puzzle pieces
It is.
to create this beautiful, effortless swing.
You got it. And the more we learn about swing mechanics,
Yeah.
the better we get at solving that puzzle.
I love that. This
Yeah.
has been such an eye-opener already.
It's a lot to take in.
Yeah, we've gone from aim and grip to sway gap, range of motion. It's crazy how much goes into it.
It really is a symphony of motion.
It is. And I feel like we're just getting started.
We are. There's so much more to unpack here.
I'm ready for more.
Let's do it. So all this data we're talking about,
Yeah.
Sportsbox AI can really help you see all these factors
Right.
and how they're affecting your swing. It's like,
It's like having X-ray vision
it is.
for your swing.
It's amazing how technology is changing the game.
It really is. But okay, what kind of adjustments would an instructor actually make based on this data?
Well, it all depends on your swing, right? Like, let's say you have a strong grip
Okay.
and you tend to hit fades.
Yeah.
They might suggest moving the ball forward a bit in your stance.
To help square the club face.
Exactly. It's about counteracting those tendencies, finding those little tweaks.
Finding those little tweaks makes sense.
Or say you have a wide sway gap at address
Okay.
and you move laterally a lot during your swing. They might say, hey, let's narrow your stance a bit.
To encourage more rotation.
Right. To get you turning more.
So stance width actually affects swing path.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I always thought it was more about comfort.
It plays a role, but it's definitely more than that.
Interesting.
Even something like foot flare can make a difference.
Foot flare.
Yeah, how much your feet are, like, pointed out.
Okay.
Squaring your lead foot might help your lead leg lock up earlier, while flaring it out could delay that lock for a more powerful release.
I never realized how much those little things matter.
It's like a chain reaction. Everything's connected.
It is. But there's one point that Terry and Mike really drive home.
What's that?
It's that, instead of trying to fit some perfect swing mold,
Right.
you should embrace your own style.
Work with what you got.
Work with what you got.
Exactly. They talk about how some golfers have this shopping woods style swing
I've heard that.
where they don't create a ton of separation between their upper and lower body. Others are more whippy, generating tons of speed and lag.
So both styles can be effective.
Absolutely. It's about what works for you.
It's about finding your swing.
Your swing.
Yeah.
And that's where having a good instructor, someone who understands all this, can really make a difference.
And that right coach, someone to help you unlock your potential.
Exactly. And the cool thing is, there's always something new to learn in golf.
That's what keeps it interesting.
It's a constant journey.
It is a journey of discovery.
I love that. And tools like Sportsbox AI.
Yeah.
They can make that journey even more insightful and rewarding.
I'm with you there. This whole deep dive, it's really opened my eyes to how much goes into the golf swing. I mean, we've talked about aim, grip, sway gap,
all the good stuff.
Range of motion. It's amazing how they all work together.
It's like a beautiful symphony.
It is a symphony, but I feel like we're not done yet.
We're not even close.
There's got to be more to this swing path puzzle.
Oh, there's so much more. We haven't even talked about swing plane.
Oh, right.
Attack angle.
How they affect ball flight.
There's a whole world of data in Sportsbox we haven't even touched.
Okay, I'm on the edge of my seat.
Haha, good.
Let's dive into those topics, see what other secrets we can unlock.
Let's do it. You're going to be amazed.
All right, so more swing mechanics.
Bring it on.
We've been talking a lot about swing path.
Yeah.
But there's this other term, club path.
Right.
What's the difference?
So swing path is more about the overall direction your body's moving during the swing.
Yeah.
And club path is specifically the direction the club head's traveling.
So swing path is body, club path is club head.
You got it.
Okay, but why is club path so important?
Well, club path and the angle of your club face at impact,
Uh-huh.
those determine where that ball starts flying.
Ah, so that's how we control those straight shots or shape those fades and draws.
Exactly. It's all about that club path.
But how do we actually influence club path? It seems kind of hard to, manipulate.
It might seem that way. But remember all those things we've talked about, aim,
Yeah.
grip, sway gap,
Range of motion.
all of that. It all plays into shaping your club path.
So it's not about trying to, consciously swing the club in a certain direction.
Not really.
It's more about setting up your body the right way.
Right. Creating those right movement patterns.
And this is where the Sportsbox data comes in handy.
It really does.
You can see how even tiny changes in your setup or swing, they change that club path.
It's pretty amazing.
I'm starting to see how it's all connected, but still a little fuzzy on how club path relates to fades and draws.
Okay, so imagine your club path is moving to the right of the target line at impact. If your club face is square to that path, you're going to hit a push.
Push. So that's the straight shot that goes right.
That's the one.
Not exactly what I want.
Haha, usually not. But if you keep that rightward path and close the club face a bit at impact, you get a fade.
So a fade is basically a push with side spin.
You got it. Now, imagine your club path is moving left of the target.
Okay.
Square club face, you're going to hit a pull.
Pull, so like a push, but to the left.
You got it. And just like with the fade, if you keep that leftward path but open the club face a little at impact, you get a draw.
So it's all about that relationship between club path and club face at impact.
That's the key. It's how you shape shots, become a more creative golfer.
I like it. What about attack angle? I hear that a lot.
Attack angle, another big one. So that's just the angle at which your club head's hitting the ball at impact. Think of it as the vertical part of your club path.
Okay, I think I'm picturing it. Why is that so important?
Well, attack angle, club path, and club face angle.
Yeah.
All together, they determine launch angle and spin rate.
So that's how we control trajectory and height.
Exactly. You're getting it. Steeper attack angle where the club head's moving more down into the ball usually means lower launch, more backspin.
So those low piercing shots.
That's how you get them. Then a shallower attack angle, club heads moving more up into the ball.
Okay.
Usually a higher launch, less backspin.
The high, soft shots that land nice and gentle.
You got it. And you can adjust that attack angle depending on the club, the situation on the course.
This is incredible. I had no idea we had so much control.
You really do.
It's amazing. And with Sportsbox, you can see the effects of those changes, right? Like in real time.
Yeah.
You can experiment with different setups, swing mechanics, and club path, and see how it affects ball flight.
It's amazing, like having your own personal swing lab.
It is. This deep dive has been mind-blowing.
I'm glad you're enjoying it.
I am. But here's a question. If all these factors influence swing path, club path, does that mean there's no such thing as a natural swing?
That's a great question. Terry and Mike, they believe that everyone does have certain physical traits and movement tendencies that affect their swing. But
there's room for improvement.
Absolutely. Lots of room for adaptation.
So nature and nurture.
Exactly. You might naturally swing a certain way.
Yeah.
But with the right coaching and practice, you can learn to shape shots, control trajectory, become a more well-rounded golfer.
I love that. It's encouraging to know we can always improve.
Absolutely. And the more we learn about the science behind the swing, the better we can train to reach those goals.
This has been such an amazing journey. I mean, we've explored the mechanics from aim and grip,
all the way to sway gap and club path.
It's fascinating how they all work together in this, complex and beautiful sport.
It really is. And the best part, we're just scratching the surface.
There's always more to learn.
Always.
So what's the one thing our listeners should take away from today?
I think the biggest thing is there's no right way to swing a golf club.
There's no one perfect swing.
Nope. Embrace your style, understand your strength, work with your tendencies, and find what works for you.
Find your swing.
Your swing. And don't forget to enjoy the process.
Right.
Have fun with it.
Well said. On that note, I think it's time to hit the links.
Let's go.
And put all this new knowledge to the test.
I'm right there with you.
To all our listeners, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of golf swing mechanics. We hope you learned something new and you feel inspired to take your game to the next level.
Definitely.
Until next time, happy golfing.